Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of Sports Etouffee. I'm your host, Logan Graffett, and on today's show, we're going to talk some New Orleans Saints football, the Week 1 matchup against the Carolina Panthers. Truly electric, night and day from last year already. It's only Week 1, but, not going to overreact, but there are some things to discuss. A lot of things are different for better, not for worse this time. To talk about the defense really quickly before we get into the offense. Defense looks like it's going to be top 5 again. I mean, they was swarming to the ball. And you can't say too much bad about the defense at all. They was swarming. I mean, Alontae Taylor had 3 sacks from his nickel spot. It was unbelievable. Alontae Taylor, I think, was the defensive MVP yesterday. You had Will Harris get an interception starting at the other safety spot. Then even Jordan Howden had an interception at the other safety spot. It was unbelievable. And then, Tyrann Mathieu with the punch out and fumble recovery. It was all over the place. Kool-Aid McKinstry filling in for Marshawn Lattimore later in the game after Lattimore had a hamstring injury, but Lattimore said in the post-game press conference that he's going to be okay. So that's a positive right there. All around great performance by the New Orleans Saints defense. Can't say too much of anything bad about that. Now, the highlight of the game is the offense. The offense just went out there and just looked night and day. Clint Kubiak really has put all of his cards into this offense, and was night and day. Derek Carr looked like a completely different quarterback, like confidence, efficient, just being a point guard in a way. And Derek Carr was 19 of 23 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns. 19 of 23 is an 82% completion percentage. That is fantastic. 200 yards even. And the third play of the game in the first drive, Derek Carr launched a 59-yard touchdown to Rashid Shaheed. Right on the money, in stride, touchdown. It was unbelievable to watch. Clint Kubiak's play calling was outstanding. I mean, there was a couple times where, there was like 1 or 2 times where I was questioning, okay, why did he do that? That was a dumb play call. But, it was like watching a completely different football team. And they got Kamara involved in the run game a lot finally. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry. He had 15 carries, Alvin Kamara, 83 yards. And then they got him involved in the receiving game, which he wasn't quite involved in last year. 5 receptions of 27 yards. I mean, over 100 yards total for the game. He hasn't had that in a few years, which is crazy to think because, that just goes to show you that Pete Carmichael was not at all a great play caller at all. He didn't learn anything from being with Sean Payton all these years. Clint Kubiak put his spin on this offense, and, it looks night and day. Jamal Williams even had a decent game. 11 carries, 38 yards, even for a touchdown. 3.5 yards a carry. Taysom Hill was being used all over the field, in the backfield, at fullback, at H-back, at F. Slot receiver. He was used all over the place, and it was great to see. Special teams as well was looking really darn good. Special teams had a punt block. Jawan Johnson got in there and blocked the punt, and it was unbelievable. Everybody played their role really, really well, and it was unbelievable how great the offense looked. Now, it is the Carolina Panthers. It is only week 1. Week 2, the Saints head off to Jerry's World, and they go play the Dallas Cowboys. That is going to be a tough test. That's going to be the first real true test to see how good this offense really is, how good this defense really is, how good this team overall really is. And dropping 47 points in week 1. Now, a stat that I was told, which I found quite interesting, is the last time the Saints scored 40-plus points in their season opener was in 2009. Now, that was the Super Bowl year. That's wishful thinking. I'm not saying this team is going to the Super Bowl, but I truly don't believe this team's Super Bowl bound, but if they are, that would be great. But realistically, if the team plays like this every game, they're not going to win every game. They're not going to go undefeated. This ain't the 72 Dolphins. But if they play like this every game, there's no reason why they can't win 10 games. This team is a 10-win team if they can play like this consistently. Because Derek Carr really did look night and day. I mean, trash-talking J.C. Horn, I've never seen him act like that before, even when he was in Oakland and Vegas. It was unbelievable. Kamara was dancing on the sidelines again like he used to. The vibe on the team is just different. You got to credit the whole offensive staff for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, Clint Kubiak. Wow, I mean, just goes to show you that coaching matters. As someone who, I never played in the NFL, but as someone who has playing experience at different levels of football, I can assure you that coaching does matter. And Clint Kubiak has proved that just in 1 week being an offensive coordinator with the New Orleans Saints. And honestly, I'm really happy that he's not in the booth and he's on the sidelines. Because, I mean, I know some offensive coordinators like being in the booth more, but him being on the field with this guy so he can talk with them instead of, like, having to ring it in over the phone through the booth. But truly night and day offense from last year. I mean, what a difference a year makes. In camp, I was hearing from all my media colleagues how the offense looks great, but for me, I was cautiously optimistic for good reason. Now, as I said earlier, they're going to be facing a Dallas Cowboys team coming off of a win against Cleveland. It's going to be a real test. They're going to be in Jerry's World, and I'm sure Jerry Jones is going to have his pick of the referees, but it should be a good matchup. Defense looks top 5. This offense, if they can stay consistent, looks like they could be top 7, top 10. And that's all you can ask for. Derek Carr, if he just plays his role like he did this past game against the Carolina Panthers, be a point guard, be efficient, be consistent, don't make stupid mistakes, then they can win against Dallas. I truly believe they can beat Dallas. I really do. Everyone has Dallas on this high up pedestal. I don't. I've never had Dallas on a pedestal, and that's not me giving bulletin board material. It's just facts. So it is going to be a very interesting matchup, and I cannot wait for this upcoming Sunday to watch the Saints play Dallas. Well, that is all the time I have for you guys today. This has been another great episode, but before we go, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this YouTube show all across social media. You can follow me on Twitter or X at TheSoulMan57. You can also follow Sports A2Fae's Twitter page or X page at Sports A2Fae. You can find me on Facebook. Just search my name, Logan Graffia. Well, this has been another great edition of Sports A2Fae. I'm Logan Graffia, and I shall see you guys next time.